For life! Remember my daughter!
They gave their daughters away to the wealthy woman in the village, but all didn't go as they and their children had expected. This is the story of Vee Mama. Let's see what happens in the end. Vee Mama was the talk of her hometown, the kind of woman people spoke about with pride and envy at the same time, because everyone knew that once she stepped into your compound and mentioned your daughter's name, poverty was already packing its bags. She was wealthy, generous, and well respected, and whenever she came home from Lagos, she never came empty-handed, as she shared food, clothes, and money freely, telling parents that she only wanted to help their children live the kind of life she herself had escaped to build in the city. Because of her, many parents began to believe that suffering was temporary and that Lagos was the answer, so every young girl who heard Vee Mama's name dreamed of leaving the village, wearing fine clothes, and sending money back home the way Vee Mama did. Abigail was just 17 years old at the time, the only daughter of struggling parents who had done their best but were slowly being worn down by hardship, and when Vee Mama chose her, there were tears of joy, prayers of thanksgiving, and neighbors congratulating the family as though a miracle had finally happened. They believed their daughter was going to make a name for herself, and they trusted Vee Mama completely, because who would doubt a woman who had lifted so many families out of poverty? The journey to Lagos was long, but Abigail was filled with hope, holding tightly to the small bag her mother packed for her, unaware that it would be the last familiar thing she would touch for a long time. When they arrived, Vee Mama took them to a large, quiet house that looked more like a warehouse than a home, divided into small rooms and surrounded by tall walls, and although nothing was said, Abigail felt an uneasiness settle in her chest. Inside, their bags were collected one after the other, along with any form of identification they had, and Vee Mama calmly told them it was for safekeeping, smiling in a way that made it sound reasonable. Soon after, the girls were told to remove their clothes as part of a welcome tradition, and while Abigail stood there confused and afraid, older girls in the house clapped slowly around them, their faces blank, their eyes distant, as though they were watching something they had already lived through. Vee Mama then brought out a calabash containing a strange liquid and explained that it was meant to seal their entry into a new life, assuring them that once they drank it, they would never regret coming to Lagos. Abigail drank, even though her body trembled, and as the liquid went down her throat, she felt a strange heaviness settle over her, not fully understanding that this was the moment everything changed. That night, as she lay awake on the mat in a room she did not recognize, listening to unfamiliar sounds and whispered cries, Abigail realized for the first time that Lagos was not the dream she had imagined, and that Vee Mama was not the woman she thought she knew.